here, Bridgeport, Oklahoma. Wanted to come out and shoot some bridges today. Still pretty mid-afternoon. It's extremely hot, but I wanted to get started anyways. I have the Texas Leica with me and my 81 for right now. But now, the light's not quite where I want it yet. So I loaded up some Phoenix 200, but I'm going to shoot it at 100 and I'm going to pull it one stop. I haven't really seen anybody do that, so I figured I'd give it a shot. I got a couple rolls and I can afford to waste one if it doesn't work out. So we get some cool pictures on the bridge here and go move around to these few other locations and get the shots I want to get.
Ranchitize me, Captain. Doing a one-stop pull, I did not expect things to be this crispy, and this being the first shot of the roll, it kind of sets the expectation of how crunchy the photos to come are.
Woo-hoo. Yeah, those are a little sketch. Little sketch. Probably not going to go any further down this bridge. It's looking pretty rough. There's a lot more ties missing, a lot more ties falling apart and rotting. If I die falling off some stupid old bridge, my wife will kill me again. So I'm going to pass on that. Shot. It's worth it. I'm about to head down to the river, but I think I got my first Texas Leica composition I want to get here. Obviously a vertical. And look at that. How could you not? How could you not? Yeah, horizontal is cool, but I ain't digging it. Not gonna lie, that scared the shit out of me for a second. I thought there was a train that was gonna come down the broken bridge, but it's on somebody's little razor. All right, anyways, photography. Stand. Kneel, stand.
Turns out kneeling was the answer. Anyways, I'm happy with how this photo came out. The bridge is the focus point, and the rails are the leading lines that pull your eye to it. You know that saying, bad luck comes in threes? Well, this is the third bridge to have been built at this crossing. The first was partially destroyed and sunk in the Canadian River in a train accident in 1907. The second was destroyed in a major flood 7 years later. Unfortunately, by the time this third iteration had been built in the late teens, the town was already in decline due to an expensive toll bridge known as the Key Bridge being built next to it, and a bitter feud over the location of the town's post office and the quality of the water in the river. By 1939, the rail spur was shut down, and this unlucky bridge has sat spanning the river that had given the town its original purpose. Going down to the riverbed, I had two subjects in mind. One was the rail car that's still visible from the 1907 crash, and the other is the piers that still stand from the Key Bridge. Unfortunately, due to the traffic, I wasn't able to get the shots I wanted. The more I look at these Phoenix 200 shots, the more I start to like them. The heavy grain and that extreme contrast look less crunchy to me now, and I think goes with the abandoned bridge vibe really well. There's even some halation that looks pretty tasteful in some shots, but in this one it looks pretty nuclear. My thought with pulling this by one stop was that I could beat the contrast, and sometimes it works, except for the times that it doesn't, and it just looks like deep fried garbage, kind of like this.
Now this shot I wanted to get as soon as I pulled down the highway here, but there was a farm truck sitting at the end of the road where those hay bales are, and I didn't want that in my shot, so I just went and dicked around for a little bit. I've come back. Now it's gone. The highway's clear. Sky looks beautiful. I've just got to hurry before traffic comes.
Now, of course, a car would come as soon as I got done shooting that joke.
Oh, okay. I like that. I like that. I like that. Where are my shadows at over here? Stuff going to EV. Oh, beautiful. That is fucking perfect. Holy shit. At least in my brain right now, I think it is. Yes. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. That's it. Woo, that one. I'm excited about that one. I was really confident on the metering and the composition and the way the clouds. There's just a little bit of shadow down here, and the subject, the hills rolling up there, were in the light. And I have this sign over here. Oh, yes.
Now, as excited as I was about this shot, there is some noticeable camera shake. It's not as sharp as I had planned and makes it look kind of like a painting. But a few minutes before this, I took another exposure that I wasn't as happy with, as I knew I had overexposed it. It's sharper and somehow less shaky using a slower shutter speed. As great as this first one came out, I still don't like it, and I'm glad I took the second photo. The shadows from the clouds really help separate the foreground and the subject, which is the hills. And even though it's not perfectly sharp, I still love it.
If I don't get anything else today, I'm hyped on that. So, I guess to the next place. One of the things I want to do with my photography in Oklahoma is I want to show off some stuff like this. I'm sure this barn is still in use, being as there's a little sleeper right next to this barn. Damn it.
So with all the sand rail traffic here, I kept getting distracted.
Wait for this sand rail to get by. Oh, he's got his dog. He's riding with his dog. Can I pet that dog?
And then when traffic cleared up, it was still cloudy.
That's those hills I just took a picture of. But anyways. 8, 16, 22, 32.
Eventually, though, the clouds did break, and I finally got the shot off.
All right. That only took half an hour, but we got it.
Well, it definitely wasn't worth half an hour. It also would have helped if I had metered it properly and given it just a skosh more light, but I didn't. Just to make sure I got it bad twice, though, I did shoot it on Phoenix 200, and it's pretty much what you would expect at this point, a crunchy, grainy mess. My next stop was the Bridgeport Bridge, which funnily enough was named after the town it diverted traffic away from, and toward its neighbors, Hinton and Hydro, making this bridge yet another nail in the coffin for the town of Bridgeport. This bridge has a bit of cinema history too, as it was in the film Grapes of Wrath, in the scene where Grandpa died. So there's a bit of movie trivia for you.
Sweet.
The picture itself I think is okay. Exposure was great. With the composition, I kind of wish I'd done something different. But oh well.
So this spot is kind of a gold mine. Because there's like an abandoned hotel right next door. It's pretty banging. I'm more interested in this though.
I feel like this photo sets the tone for the rest of the video. Bridgeport is a ghost town, and in the late 1800s, it was an important river crossing for the wagon trails and the early highway systems that flowed through here, hence the name Bridgeport. But it has long been abandoned. The town still exists today, but is unincorporated and is a fading memory in Oklahoma history. The building here, much like the town itself, is now a graveyard of businesses and farm equipment. Putting that history lesson aside, let's stop and appreciate Portra 160 and how well it pairs with the Fuji GW and the 90mm Fujinon. I mean, just look at that. It's nice.
I don't think I'm gonna get it. Wind, 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 wind. The one time I'm asking for wind.
I didn't get the wind I was hoping for. What I wanted is to be able to read John Deere on the back of the combine there, but you can't really see it. In the end, I kind of regret taking this picture as I don't really know what it says besides pretty light and old lawnmower. Since that was the end of the roll in the GW, instead of reloading it, I decided to pick up the AE1 and try to finish off this roll of Phoenix 200 here. After I snapped this photo, I felt a little bit bad having called this place a gold mine. Looking closer at it, you realize that this is a place where people's dreams kind of died. Their businesses, this old hotel, the cafe, the propane truck. Sadly, they were all just left here and forgotten. Like most of West Oklahoma, the town is surrounded by ranches and farms where farmers are just getting by. And though Bridgeport is still inhabited by roughly 100 people, very few of them actually live in the town. Main Street has no buildings and is overgrown, and all the side streets hold the few remaining buildings that still stand. And nearly all of them look like this. As I drove around, the photography slowed down because it was hard to pick a subject. I managed to get out one final shot at the water tower on Hectare 100, but it definitely didn't do enough to finish telling the story here. And honestly, with all the history here, how could it? By the time I was ready to move on, though, I had realized picking such a low-speed film was a bad idea. And since I didn't have a second tripod or a shutter release, I was stuck. And that meant this was it for Bridgeport. At least for now. Thanks for watching.
These people down at the river are listening to Drake in 2024. Summer 2024. Probably not the move I would make at this point in time. But that's just me.